Hey, welcome back to ZK Master Tech. Got an update of what I got going on this spring. Everybody's getting their tractors out of the shop and realizing there's problems with them. Mice have been a really bad culprit of wiring harnesses being damaged over the winter. Had a combine that wouldn't move and it was in the way to get some other equipment out. Mice chewed through the transmission harness on that. We got an 8400R in here that the mice chewed through the transmission harness on that and it wouldn't move and stuck in the shed. I've got a 9RX in here that the after treatment was plugged up in it and I had to remove all the after treatment and get it sent off and have it clean. I've also got to go on a service call this morning. We just got all kinds of stuff going on. Let me show you what we got going on. So here's the harness of an S780 combine. This goes from your PTP controller. It controls your transmission down to the transmission bulkhead connector. It also goes underneath the cab. Anyway, I ended up cutting the harness to try to get that thing out in two pieces, and then I ended up tugging and it broke right up here. You can see this is the area where the mice completely chewed through the harness and ate the wires. So yeah, put a new harness in that, fix that combine. Here we've got a 9620RX and I've got all of the after treatment pulled off. You wouldn't believe the amount of shields that you got to take off to get this stuff out. I mean, it was just crazy. Look at all this stuff. And it was pretty dirty. This is the worst shield of all. This shield goes over the DPF. The DPF sits right here, and then the SCR sits right here. That's the SCR that sits on that little platform there. There's the DOC and the DPF. They bolt together or clamp together, and they sit right here. And that is the heat shield of doom. Oh, that thing did not want to come out of there. But yeah, there's just shields everywhere. Anyway. Sent these off to a diesel clean specialist, and I think they got 1,000 grams out of the SCR and like 300 some out of the DPF. They got them flowing a lot better. They said they were okay. Sometimes we send them stuff and they're like, yeah, no, it's done for, it won't flow at all anymore. So we buy new ones through them. And I also broke a bolt off in this hole here. And I had to drill, I had to drill that bolt all the way out. It would not come out. So I had to drill it all the way down to where there was like maybe a 30-second wall left. And then I went to tap this hole, and it's 12 by 175. And a normal tap would not, I had a gear wrench tap, and it would not cut into this stuff. I ended up using a snap-on tap, and it went through it a lot easier. I wouldn't say it was super easy, but that snap-on tap, that tool steel of snap-on definitely was a big difference than the gear wrench tap. So keep that in mind when you're tapping really hard stuff. But got that done. So all this stuff, I'm waiting on some gaskets and clamps to put the DOC and DPF back together, and then I'll be putting all this back together. Yeah, good time. Let me show you the 8400R. The 8R carnage is real. Anyway, that's the 8400R there that I was talking about. Patty's got a 8320R all tore up. What's going on with that, Patty?
Oh, so we got that side's back together. This is kind of what it would look like disassembled on your ILS front suspension. We got the drive shaft out, obviously. Lift cylinder and everything. Took the steering differential carrier off, or side cover off, and the bearings in that cover for your yoke, for your drive shaft. Got some play in them, so we'll rebuild that with new bearings and seals. And
you already did the other side.
Yeah.
And the other side's a little bit more complicated than this side is. Just a little.
Yeah, bit. Just a little. Just got one more piece in there.
Yeah.
But nope, just
seeing you're making good use of the A-frame here.
Oh yeah, it's kind of slick.
It works good. It's handy in certain situations.
It is working quite slick,
Sweet.
but not as much. I'm not having as much fun as Ben over there though. I think I'd rather do this than the wiring harness. That's
Yeah. Let's check in with Ben.
it's kind of scary over there.
What do you got going on here, Ben?
Harness of Doom.
The harness of doom.
Yeah.
So, this tractor, I went out to diagnose it, and it had a active code for pressure sensor circuit open, and it was kind of in a bad spot in the shed, and it would just default to neutral when you put it into gear, and we couldn't get it. The customer wanted it out of their shed because they had to get something else out, and so I ran the new wire from the controller to the transmission to the clutch pressure sensor, and it didn't fix it. Well, it fixed that code, but then as soon as I got to running it again, it was still defaulting to neutral, and it came up with another code, and it said that the R1 proportional solenoid circuit was open. So I tested the wires back here at the controller. Yep, circuit was open. I wasn't gonna just keep running new wires until this thing moved, so I decided we were gonna haul it in so we could take the tires off and jack up the cab. And Ben got to inherit my Dr. Death project here, so he's got the cab jacked up to where he can get to, mainly there's two clamps under here that was holding that transmission harness. So the transmission harness goes back, connects, it's one connector of the rear chassis controller, and then it snakes over the top of the fuel tank here and two clamps. So he had to get this much clearance to get those clamps out. But what'd you find, Ben?
Well, the mice were hungry. They chewed that connector up. And then I don't know if you can see down in there, but where it branches out of there, they've wreaked some havoc on multiple.
Yeah.
I can feel a lot of copper exposed.
Yeah, so
So
it's hard to see it in there, and it's kind of right there.
it's right there.
Right there, yeah. You can see they chewed like 3/4 of the way through that harness. So I was going to have to run a lot of wires before this thing was going to be able to move again. So show that connector.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Look what they did to that. Why?
Yeah, the little retaining clip, it's supposed to look like this, but it does not.
Boy, they were hungry.
Mm-hmm. Can't see how that's very nutritious, but
Just
they
can't
are
have,
rodents.
Just can't have nothing nice.
No.
Yeah, so Ben's in the process of ripping the harness out. Also, we got to figure out why there's active codes for the def dosing unit and one of the line heaters in here. We were thinking maybe it had something to do with the wires being damaged back in here, like the mice chewed both harnesses, but haven't found any damage in here yet. But we still got to get that dirt and everything all cleaned up. So
More to come at 6.
all right, so that's an update of what's going on in the shop. Now I'm gonna hit the road and go work on a 7810. You guys don't think I work on old stuff. All right, had about a 45-minute drive, and I'm here now. We got the John Deere 7810 hooked up to a Case IH 340 disc. So John Deere made these tractors from 1996 to 2003, and they're 175 horsepower. This one has got the 8.1 liter PowerTech engine in it, and the customer used to have a 4430, and he traded it off with us for this 7810. It was time to upgrade, he said. So these are really good tractors. 25 years or more later, and these things are still working fields to this day. So pretty good tractor. I know there's I work on a lot of 7800s, 7810s. A lot of these tractors still around, still doing the work. And so we've got an oil leak on right below the oil cooler here, right here at this base. So we're going to try to get that fixed today. And we got to work on this Case IH 340 disc here that he bought off of us. And he wants me to move these bolts into the upper hole. So it's a big bolt, 1.7/8 socket's what fits that sucker. So I'll use the crane and pick up right here in the middle and try to pick that up and move those bolts for him. So let's get into this oil leak. Okay, so the first thing I did was snip some zip ties on these hoses to get some more room in here. I'm not sure if we're going to have to pull this oil cooler out. I know some of the older models, these pipes would actually go up into the cover a little farther, and then you could sneak this block out, but not sure if that's going to work with this application. But first thing I need to do is clean off some of the schmoo around here. Okay. That washer just going to stay there forever? Sure. It's got standard bolts in it. And we're leaking already. Had to dust off the old SAE sockets for this one. I guess that washer's just going to hang out there. Will you go up in there further? Oh boy. We're making a mess. Yeah, so these pipes are not going to go up any further than that, so that ain't going to work. So we're going to have to pull this oil cooler out. Yay. And this hose is going to be in the way. See if we can't get that baby to move. It's stiff. You know, you want to. Almost there. Don't want that junk falling down in my drain line for my turbo. My goodness. Sheesh. Already got a wound. Is that gonna bleed? Should have had gloves on. Didn't think I was gonna need to on this project. Stay there, out of the way. Thank you. All right. I got the engine block drained of coolant here. I used this is actually a steering return hose for a 4430, and it works pretty good for going onto those petcocks because it has like this little red liner on the inside of it, and works really well for draining engine blocks. So drain that down, and now we can get these bolts out and try to pull this cooler out of here. 1/2-inch bolts. Oh. Okay. Trying to keep poopies from going down in the holes. You can just go right there. There we go. There it is. Cool. Awesome. All right, so we got it all apart, got this cleaned up, new O-rings installed in here. Took some emery cloth and cleaned up those pipes a little bit. Got to clean up the cover, and then I got to get the gasket cleaned off the oil cooler here. I got to get the gasket scraped off the block surface right there, and then we'll go back together. Okay, so we got everything cleaned up. We got a new gasket on my oil cooler here. Like that. So we got another gasket here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to stick some longer bolts here. Yeah. And one shorter one. And we'll just get them lined up best we can here. Oh. Stay. Don't you go anywhere. Let's get some stuff lined up here. There. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Let's get one started in there, shall we? Oh, need one without the washer. Let's snug you down before you change your mind. Cooking with gas now. Snugged. It's time for torquey time. 35 foot-pounds on the bottom ones. It's my kind of torque spec. And the top, you go 15 and then you do 27. Sure. Okay, and we're gonna go 27. Yep. Torqued. All right, so now all I got to do is get that line, this drain line back on. Sure, it'll just slide right on. Not. And get these all zip tied up. This harness will zip tied here. And then I'll fill it up with coolant. Okay, well, it's all put back together the way it was.
Right.
And now I'm going to put some coolant in there. Okay, well, that's the lighter one.
Oh, you want this one?
Well, it doesn't matter. It's all got to go in there anyway.
Okay.
We'll practice with the lighter one. Wake up, little buddy. Now I'm ready for the big one. That one's a little stouter.
Yep.
See how skilled my pouring skills are today. That was aggressive. Now we're cooking with gas.
They're talking high winds tomorrow, possible rain. Temperatures are going to drop too.
Dang it. Thirsty little fella. Well, that's all of it that I drained out, but it's right there at the tippity top. So I think we're gonna call that good.
Okay.
You know, at least they give you an access cover to fill the coolant.
Yeah.
You
Well,
don't
now,
have-
if it does get low, do I add it on the other side? It's got to,
You can,
okay.
but
Or is it better to add it up there?
it's better to add up here, but you know, if it's hot, you don't want to open that cap.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's fire this puppy up. All right, so now I'm gonna fix this drawbar tongue here. I want it more level with the drawbar here, so we're gonna undo the bolts and pick this up and see if we can't get this more level here. We're gonna bust the 3/4 gun out on these. Holy moly. I can get the bolt to turn, but it won't, the nut won't turn. Oh boy.
She's on there, huh?
Yeah. Let's see if the 1-inch can do it.
Okay.
See if my 1-inch gun can do it.
Well, you've got the hardware for this, man.
You want to hold this?
Just hold it.
Yep.
Man, I wonder why that was so hard.
1-inch gun didn't care. Jeesh. All right, well, it was rusty.
What's that?
Let's go to the other side here. Ready?
Yep.
Man, you would have never got those out.
Oh, there's no way. No matter how much yelling and screaming I did, it wouldn't have helped.
No. Whew. Yeah. Now we gotta get those out. Still. It needs to go down just a little bit. Yeah. Well, at least they're playing nice now.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I need it to go that way. That way just a little bit. I'm gonna need a bar or something. Get this to move. Come on. It just doesn't want to go there, does it? See, the problem, it needs to go that way, but it can't because it's hooked to the drawbar. We almost just need to be able to pull the tractor we almost just need to pull the tractor forward a little bit. So I guess we'll have to get some oil in it.
Well.
All right, so we thought it'd be a good idea to change the oil while we did this. So we had to go ahead and get a new filter and put oil in the tractor so we can get it started, because we need to adjust the cylinder right here in order to get these holes lined up, because I need the tongue to go this way, but I can't. So we're going to adjust that cylinder. Let's wake up the truck. It's really close.
What's that?
It's really close. Go back the other way just a little bit. Whoa. Eureka. Let's try to do that again. Those go downer. Like a glove.
Seth,
How's it look?
it's better than it was, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so.
It's a lot better. It looks good. Looks perfect to me.
It's not perfectly level, but it's way better than it was, and
Seth, let me
it's
tell
as
you
good
what.
as it's gonna get.
I think it's great, man. I'm very happy.
Okay.
Let me tell you, give you some advice about getting older. As you get older, certain things in life bring you happiness. This brings me happiness. Okay.
Just moving some bolts.
Yes. Yes. That makes me happy. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Changing the oil makes me happy. Getting that fixed makes me happy.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
We're just making you happy all over today, aren't we?
The happiest I did my whole life.
Getting to play with cranes will make you happy.
Next time, maybe. Okay. Yeah, Seth. You know what? You're right. There's no way I would have broken these bolts.
They were tight. Well, I had to give it everything my war wagon had available, so
Yeah, but it worked though, didn't it?
it did. It did.
Wow, that's
Tired of listening to that loud thing.
wonder how much horsepower that thing got.
That truck?
Yeah,
About 400.
quite a bit. Wow.
Let's give these about 1,700 ugga-duggas. Man, what is... That is the craziest lock nut. I think you just got to hit her with everything you got.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Now, does it go in this way or the other way, Seth?
What?
I mean, this nut.
It goes like that.
Oh, it does. Okay. Wow.
Yeah. It's just mean. This is all there is to it.
Wow.
It's just angry at the world.
I get like that sometimes.
All right, hold that baby.
Okay.
Torqued. All right, let's go around. And that 3/4 gun I got's no slouch, but you just must need rotating mass.
I guess so, man.
Ready?
Yep. Let's see. Is that all the? Is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. I tell you what, if those ever come out, you got a problem. Those are never coming loose.
Well, I'm actually glad to hear that.
Holy smokes. All right, well, that just goes to show you the difference between the Milwaukee 1-inch and the 3/4. Same battery. I just swapped it from one gun to the other. 3/4 would not budge that nut whatsoever. 1-inch didn't care. Well, it did care a little bit. It had to impact for a solid couple seconds before it started to move, but I wouldn't have been able to get the job done without that Milwaukee 1-inch. But yeah, that looks a lot better. So we're all done here. And I'm back at the shop. I helped Ben pull this harness out, and we had to cut it in half to get it out. It just wasn't cooperating. But yeah, here's where the mice chewed through this harness. Let's see, they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh, Jesus.
You okay there, Ben?
Yeah, I'm having a great time.
So yeah, they are you sure you're okay?
Fine, it's fine.
You got really dirty today.
I did.
So yeah, that harness is out. Ben's already got new harness kind of pre-ran in here, and he's trying to hook everything up from underneath. Oh, I even made it. Jeez. Anyway, he's trying to get all the wires hooked up to the back of the transmission. E23 power shift here. And you having a good time, Ben?
Yeah, I'm trying to get the little plastic insulators out of the plugs because they decided to stay with the sensor, so
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
And it's in the best spot ever.
Yeah, I thought that earlier.
I need like a tiny pocket pick this long.
Okay.
Sheesh.
How about this? Is that enough bendy on the end for you? So, yeah. Once he gets all the connections hooked up to the back of the train, then he can run the main branch down the cab. How's it going, Patty?
Oh, it's gone.
Looks like you got her back together.
Yeah, for the most part, had a couple service calls in between, but
Here,
it's
take the
alright.
mic
Yeah,
this time.
but nope, got the cover back on, new bearings and everything, and new seals, new drive shaft, new U-joints,
Oh
new
man,
hardware.
big upgrade.
Just slid the cylinder on, so get the bolts in. We can take our A-frame off, and we don't need to support that anymore. And go together with oil on the hubs and sensors, or position sensors for the suspension, and start going back together with everything.
So you had 2 service calls today?
Two at the same place.
Oh yeah.
2 at the same place for this, a little 5310 tractor. One time it wouldn't come out of park, and I just leaned on it and grabbed the lever, and it just fell right out. And I was like,
Fixed.
rebuilt. And the other one, he said his dash kept coming in and out, and so I drove all the way back up there after I've been here 5 minutes, and get there and find a fuse loose, or 2 fuses loose, so I get them put back in, and it's working fine.
Bet. 5310 things. You said it was a 5310, right?
5310, no cab, loader, not the most basic 5310 you can get, but it did have front wheel assist. So that made it a little bit better.
Gotcha. What, Ben?
I need favor.
Uh-oh. Ben needs something.
Can you tell me which one Park Supply is? It's the only sensor I...
Park Supply?
Yeah. I've got 3 here, but the length...
Are they labeled? They say
This one says Park Supply.
on the wiring end?
On the wiring, yeah. So I need to know which EH it is. Is it the bottom one?
I don't know.
I
I'm gonna have to look it up.
I tried to memorize it before I unplugged it.
But you slept
Yeah.
since then?
I failed. We had to cut it in half, and I was like, bye.
Yeah, I can look that up.
Thank you.
Well, we got it figured out. Ben needs blown off. You sure you don't want to blow your hair like a rooster again? This is what... When I got to the shop, this is what I caught him doing. Was blowing his rooster tail up in the air.
Gotta keep it fresh.
And he just goes, oh, it feels good.
It does, it's hot.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this video for today. So stay tuned. I'm going to try to get this 9RX back together, and we'll get the A400R back together. Make sure that you watch my TikTok videos, because I might have updates there. So if you haven't followed me on TikTok, make sure you go to the ZK Master Tech and follow me on TikTok, because I might put some updates on there, or there might be some new content on there. You never know what I'm going to post on TikTok. I also post on Instagram and Facebook as well. So make sure you guys check out all the social media sites. And until next time, keep that green iron moving.